I think having an entrepreneur as a franchisee, there's some advantages and there can be some disadvantages. An entrepreneur by nature is always looking at ways to do things differently and position things differently, or in their minds make things better, and they're attracted to challenges and not necessarily the traditional path. So in franchising, I've seen that a true entrepreneur can be one of the most challenging franchisees, because by nature franchising in definition is a proven process that you go out and you replicate and you follow and execute on that process. So my experience has been that a really hardcore entrepreneur is not a really good franchise candidate. What would you say to that?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think we need part entrepreneur, because there is a lot of action at the local level where we need a little bit of that entrepreneurship, especially with the marketing and managing the people. And when there is an issue, we want that individual to resolve it and fix it, again at the local level, without relying too much on the franchisor. The bad side, the side that we don't want from an entrepreneur, is the creative side, where the individual is going to think that by inventing the system himself, he is doing well. Mm-hmm. So somewhere we said that good number twos are very good because they still have the drive. Is the reason why they are number two, but they are not that number one, which is the trailblazer and who wants to open new path all the time.
Yeah, I would say the ideal franchise candidate is somebody that's proven in business, has experience in managing teams, understands marketing, understands all aspects of business. True entrepreneurs typically aren't even looking at franchises because they already look at it as something that's already been established and they're looking for something differently. So, but it is true. You want someone who has entrepreneurial spirit and the fact that they're willing to try different things, take chances, take risks more, and but also the ability to execute and follow a model in the system. Yeah. So it's a difficult blend, but
and actually it's a way to be very successful, because those people who are focused and know how to follow a system, over time there is a huge opportunity of scalability for them, mm-hmm. because they are going to follow that path and then they are going to grow in number of units. I see a lot of true entrepreneurs, unfortunately, who have a little bit ADD syndrome, right. And they get bored quickly. And there is this about the 7-year cycle. So after 7 years, they need to do something else. And actually, 7 years is the time when a business starts to grow and become profitable. And it's time to get the reward and the laurel of all the hard work. So in the early years, there is not a lot of financial return for the entrepreneur or the creator. So I think that there is a good opportunity of long-term wealth for franchisees who become multi-unit, don't have all this early investment in engineering the system, and are going to get a good number at the unit level, and then multiply by the number of units. You can become millionaires and multi-millionaire just because you are growing your empire.
Absolutely, and not so that people think that entrepreneurs aren't needed in franchise systems, but a lot of the creative aspects of great ideas and best practices come from the franchisees as well. I know in McDonald's example, the Filet-O-Fish sandwich came out of Cincinnati due to the Lenten menu that they are requiring, and it became a very huge success. So a lot of innovative things can come from the franchisees. So being part of a franchise system doesn't mean that you turn your brain off. So it does require a lot of execution and the ability to come up with new ways to improve the system, but it's not necessarily rewriting the whole manuals and starting over from scratch.
Yeah, and I think it's A lot is about understanding the roles and the responsibilities between the franchisor and the franchisee. And when you have a collaborative attitude between the two groups, the franchisee group and the franchisor, this is really where it's functioning at its best. And then the franchise organization is blooming.
Yeah, because every market is a little bit different, like the demographics, the buying behaviors, the purchasing. So as a franchisee, you have to know what works within the system and then make adjustments to your market area. So what necessarily may work in the Southwest from an advertising perspective or taste perspective could be completely different to the Northeast. So the beauty of franchising is having somebody who understands those nuances and can make adjustments to it. So there's a lot of, again, requirements of the owner or the franchisee to take the system and then execute with their knowledge of the market area.
Yeah, I fully agree. It's not a small job to take a system who sometimes has been a little bit designed in an office and then being able to execute for customers on the field. So it's the difference between the blueprint and the physical execution on the road every day, every customer, and making a successful transaction.
Great.